Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. And welcome to another episode of the So Frail Conversations. Today, I want to talk about rebounding. Um, I want to have this conversation with my brothers about rebounding and shit because, you know, a lot of times we fall victim to it. We fall victim to it, and sometimes we are the alleged suspect in the situation. So I want to go, basically on both dynamics of, being the rebounder and the reboundee, and a lot of the effects that it has on, a lot of the lingering effects that it has on our relationships, our relationship life, our outlook on relationships, and ultimately how it can, you know, affect us in other ways. You know, I've, I just wanted to switch gears a little bit, for so frail conversations. Like, what I mean? Sometimes we can't always talk about, let's get better, masculinity and shit. Like, you feel me? Although that is, what the theme is. Sometimes, you just want to vibe out, like, have some real talk, guy talk and shit. Like, yo, relationship, this is something that we rarely talk about as far as relationship. We don't talk about our rebounds, you know what I mean? We don't really talk about relationships as a whole much anyway, It's either, because there's so many different, we try to keep everything linear and, just one dimensional, but it's so many different layers to it. And I think as men, especially black men, we need to discuss more about relationships in depth and, the things that they did to us, things that they caused us. And one of the particular relationships that we find ourselves in often is the rebound. And there's so many reasons why we find ourselves in rebounds, because rebounds, in my opinion, rebounds are easy to get into. They're easy to get out of. And I think, they don't require work from us. You feel me? They don't require work from us because of just the energy that comes with it and carries on it. And it's also continual rebounding that kind of keeps us in a loop of not wanting newer relationships or not even wanting to be in long-time relationships because of the temporary aspect of what the rebound is, So I just wanted to, speak on that a little bit today. I feel like today's a good day to do so. Because, it's always a good day to speak on whatever you feel, So speak on what you feel today. That's another message in this. But before we get started, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_seen_. Be sure to visit my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To everybody who sponsors and donates and tips to the podcast, I greatly appreciate you. You are very, very appreciated. Be sure. In the wrong page right now. If you would like to donate, tip, and sponsor, you can do so by clicking the link of the description of the podcast, not the particular episode, but the podcast itself. Be sure to leave reviews and comment and share the podcast as well with all your friends, family, and loved ones, and everybody you feel will get something out of this as well. Lastly, that's it. So what we're going to do real quick, because I don't want to waste too much time. We're going to jump straight into it, and we're going to get into So Frail Conversations, Rebounding. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less, but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And first, let's go ahead and get the hard stuff out of the way. Look, rebounding is fun. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Rebounding is fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's an easy way to be in a relationship without being in one. Get the perks of relationships without having to actively do too much work. And you know what I mean, you tapping into something, you tapping into a vulnerable space of the woman, you know, whenever whenever we are rebounding, you know. And on the other side, you know, when we are the rebounder, not the reboundee, when we are the rebounder, you know, just coming off a relationship, getting into it, it's like our emotions, our feelings, our connection to that person prior are still there. So a lot of times with rebounds, it's like we never really develop anything for the new person. We simply transfer what we had from the older person onto the new person. It's just like, yo, let's pick up from there. And of course that is bad. It has a detriment to it because now you're treating a person like someone of your past that didn't work. So what do you think is going to happen? It's just basic input and output. If you put the input function in for a situation that didn't work, the output function is going to be the same. Now I get it. People say, well, you get different experiences out of other people. Not when you're rebounding. See, the rebound is so quick. It doesn't have time to build. It doesn't have time to go through the gradual processes because we don't clear that space from the person we're with. You know what I mean? And we do it quite often. We do it quite often. When I recap, I look back over most of the relationships that I was in, they were rebounds. I don't have too many relationships where I could say, you know, this person has been single prior to getting with me, you know. And a lot of the flings that I had, a lot of the stories that, you know, I tell about, you know, meeting women in the club and different things, that was some rebound shit. A lot of it was really rebound shit. And a lot of the women were rebounds and shit too. I remember one specifically. It was like, this was some crazy shit. You feel me? I had to have one of my partners on standby after this shit because it was like nothing popped off, I would say. And shit, everything was good. But I met Shorty, like we went to college together and shit. So I met Shorty at the you know, I had already knew her. So we at the club and shit. And she like, yo, you coming over? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I get there and shit. And motherfucker, you know, we do our due diligence. We do our due diligence. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start calling sex from now on. If I remember due diligence. We did our due diligence and shit. So what happened was I'm in it. I'm about to go. Like I'm getting dressed and shit. And I hear some male voices coming in. And she casually, nonchalant, she said, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend. I was like, wait, what? Because she had a roommate at the time. And she said, yeah, me and my roommate used to date friends. She was like, yeah, so she still goes with her boyfriend, but me and him, we broke up. And I was like, when? She said probably about a month ago. So I'm like, damn, you only been single for a month and this dude still comes over and shit, right? So like the homeboys and shit, like they there, it's like 3 of them and shit. So I'm like, damn, I'm by myself. I'm by my dolo. You feel me? I ain't got no weaponry on me. I ain't got shit. Cause I'm like, yo, all I got is some rubbers. I'm like, the fuck? I'm just thinking I'm about to get some ass and shit, right? Thinking with the wrong head, you know, and not thinking about the full dynamic of what could possibly happen. Cause, you know, you don't really know you're a reboundee or you don't really know the situation is a rebound until you explore it. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm in there chilling and it's like, pride is kicking in like a motherfucker, like, cause coming from where I'm from, it's like, go fuck it, go out there, bro, leave, fuck them niggas, bro. But then I was older. I think I was like 23. I was like 23 at the time, so I'm still battling that coming into maturity and still that lingering immaturity there. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna walk out there. Them niggas pop off there. It is what it is. I get jumped or whatever it is. I catch them dudes on the one, right? So I text one of my homies and shit. I said, bro. I said, look, lock this address in. I said, if I text you and say, come on, nigga, come on. So he was like, all right, bro, what's going on? I said, man, I'm stuck. Like he roasted me for a good hour. You feel me? Cause I was like, yo, bro, I'm at this bride house and shit, and her ex-boyfriend here and some other niggas. I was like, yo, he was like, yo, she set you up. I was like, I don't think she set me up. Cause like she was too, like I could like, although I was a rebound, I could tell she was really done with the dude because, like, she walked out and shit and got she did this shit on purpose. She was so petty. She walked out, got 2 juices and shit. And then came back like, what you got 2 juices for? She said, for my company. And he was like, oh, you got a nigga in there? She was like, yeah. And just walked out. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is about. But like I said, I had, that was somebody I was already involved with from undergrad. So it was, I was there before he was the boyfriend anyway. You feel what I'm saying? He was a detour in the road. Fuck. But anyway, so yeah, I left that situation because I was there for too long. I was like, bump it, yo, I gotta go. So when I walked out, they just looked at me, looked at them, and I walked out the door, and nothing was said, nothing was done. But the theme of that is rebound shit. In that case, I was the reboundee. You feel me? In that case, I was the reboundee, and it was, like I said, those situations don't need work. She was already vulnerable. If she was careless or anything, hey, I mean, like I said, we had already had prior history, so it made sense. But it's like little things like that are a part of the game, a part of this rebounding game and this rebounding thing. And I think as men, sometimes we get so used to that. You feel me? I have been dealing with, like, I remember I did a podcast episode. I don't remember which So Frail conversation it was, but I was talking about a 3-day plan, right? I never told all of the details of the dynamics of it, but when I look at the statistics and I study the algorithm of it all, I say a good 90% of the women that I was able to put on the 3-day plan is because they had just came out of a fucked up relationship with their boyfriend, or they was on the rocks with their boyfriend. Something was off, and you exploited that. I kind of exploited that weakness. And so it's like, I gave them in that moment everything. In those 3 days, I was able to give them everything that their boyfriend wasn't giving them at the time. That was a part to it too. My big homies ain't really teach me that part about it, but it was like, yo, she already got a man, fuck her. Like, you feel me? Like, that's easier to walk away from. So then when shit don't work, you're like, yo, but you had a man anyway. You knew what we was doing, blah, blah, blah. It's little subtleties and shit like that. But, yeah, so you as the rebound, you just tap into as a reboundee, you just tap into the emotion that they're looking to feel. Most people who are on a rebound are trying to fill a void. And when you're the void filler, you become that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I joke around all the time. I'm like, I was a perfect side dude. Like, I was a perfect side dude because I was never in a relationship, like, in the times when those women were coming on to me from broken relationships and shit. And like, we'll be fucking with each other, and then, I got to hear about, yeah, let me tell you what he did. That's why I can't stand him, because this, that, and I'm like, you still ain't, you're not over him. I am done with him. I didn't say you weren't done, but you are not over him. So you shouldn't be fucking with me, but hey, I'm going to do what I do. You feel me? But this was more so in my heyday, back when I didn't give a fuck about this shit. Because I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to spend the rest of my life with you. This works. You feel what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us, we developed that subtly. You dig what I'm saying? We developed that subtly and over time, to where we don't really, quote unquote, give a fuck. And we do it so much it becomes habitual, and it becomes our type. You feel me? Like, we keep talking about, like, why we can't trust these hoes and shit. We can't trust these hoes. And again, I'm using hoes for dramatic effect, but we can't trust these hoes because we involve ourselves with untrustworthy women. Like that's a part of what rebounding brings to us. You feel me? It makes us involve ourselves with untrustworthy women. Like, you feel me? I would never, and I have never done this, made a relationship or will make a relationship out of a woman who's cheating with me. Like, if you cheating on your man with me, I can't be with you. I'm not even thinking about, oh, you're going to leave him for me. We're going to run off in a wind. Fuck no. I don't trust that shit. You feel me? Because it makes no sense. And I think we hold on to that shit because we know that in order for us, I think somehow deep down we know that in order for us to really love somebody, we got to trust them. You feel me? Like Kendrick Lamar was like, he said, keep it 100. I'd rather have trust I'd rather you trust me than to love me. You feel me? And that's real. Like, you feel me? I'd rather be able to trust you than love you. Because the love is just, it's going to come, it's going to go, in my opinion, especially how people view love now. But I'd rather have the trust. You feel what I'm saying? Because if I can trust you, then I can guarantee what I can guarantee, but I have more of a feeling that, you're not going to do shit. But if I can see that you're untrustworthy, I know not to even cross that line or even attempt to. You dig what I'm saying? So as the reboundee, it's often fun to know that, I always have the option to get out. And my option to get out is always because I can't trust her, because I put myself in a situation where I don't have to trust you. You feel me? I'm not going to trust you because I don't have to. I don't want to. There's no desire for me to trust you because of the fact that I know what we're getting into. I know where you stand. And I think because, like I said, because we do that so much, that starts to develop into our type. You feel what I'm saying? This is like, I was like, one of my trading mentors was telling me, he was like, when you have losing trades, what do? He said, do you go back and do the same thing over again? And, until it changed my mind, I was like, yeah, like when I'm first learning, I'm like, yeah. He said, do you know why you go back and do it over again? He's like, because that's what's set. Whether the trade went right or wrong, you followed a certain pattern that fit. And because you followed that pattern, you got used to that pattern and seeing it. And then you kept entering, and then the same result happened. But rather than changing the approach of how that result happened, because you didn't go back in hindsight and clean that up, you just continue to do it. So there's nothing wrong with the approach. I just made a mistake here at the ending point, not anything at the beginning, right? So that applies to this rebounding shit. That applies to these rebounding situations. We do them for so long and we get involved in them so long that becomes what we seek in relationships, knowing that's not what we want, knowing that's not going to be viable, but that's what we, damn, she bad. You feel what I'm saying? I started to look at relationships that, I was the reboundee in, and it's like, I say over the past 30 now, I say when I started, trying to date again, I was like 26 and shit, trying to get back in the game. So like over the past 4 or 5 years, I say I'll give it 4 or 5 years. But over the past 4 or 5 years, the women that I kept involving myself with, the women that kept coming on to me, it's like we meet, we talk and shit, and then it comes out. Yeah, how long you been single? Well, I'm just like, we just broke up not too long ago. I'm not a rebound. I had to start to assert that shit for myself. Then I'm like, I'm not a rebound anymore. I'm not that rebound dude. I used to be that, oh yeah, she can get over him. She'll get over him she got to get over him in absence of me because I'm just a void filler. And I'm a great void filler. Like on some real shit, these women be trying to, the problem gets mad. It becomes problematic because they try to rush. Because, like I said, they're not building anything new with me. They're simply transferring all that they had from that previous relationship onto me. I'm like, yo, I'm going to give you this because you deserve it more than that person. But I'm not going to build and know that you're the individual that has to, that needs its own, connection with me. So they just transfer the shit. That's why it's like if you notice, it's like there's little nuances that you do that are in the same light as the person that they just came off of. And, they're like, yo, see, I got to watch you because of this. I got to watch. Like when I started to pay attention to how women always kept saying, yo, I got to watch you. No, you don't got to watch me. Like I started to look at, okay, tell me about your ex. This is why it's very important to know about the exes. My brothers, I know we could talk that macho shit, and be like, nah, man, I don't give a fuck if they can. Nah, you need to know. If you know about her ex, chances are you know why she's with you. You feel me? Sometimes we don't really pay attention to that. Like we don't know why a person is with us. And I don't give a fuck what a person's mouth says, what comes from their mouth or why they with me and shit. I'm dope. I get it. You feel me? So I'm with you because of this, that, and third. Like I'm very self-aware within myself. So flattery can't work as to why I know a person with me. But I be knowing like you with me because I'm feeling I'm giving you what that person didn't. Oh my gosh, when I talk, you listen to me. Oh, you weren't listened to? Oh, you pay specific detail to everything that I say and you respond to everything and just say, you don't just say, huh, like, you get me, you're like, you feel me? I get a lot of the things. I'm like, oh, it's the 80-20. You feel me? You're magnifying the fact that I'm giving you the shit that you couldn't get in your past relationship as a rebound. So you think that you just transferred it over everything. And now you're getting your missing piece. You feel me? But you were never done. You never out of that relationship. You were never out of that situation. So when those moments kept coming up, I started to look at it. Okay, how long? Well, I've been single. Like, I knew this woman, she was in a relationship for 3 years and she was single for 2 months and she said she was good. I said, no, you're not. I said, no, you're not. She got mad because I wanted to pace it. Like, oh my gosh, we should be doing this. You know what? I think we should just be friends. We should just be. I'm like, we are friends, but okay. Okay. After they hit me with the, I think we should be friends, it's usually going to stop. You feel me? It ain't no harm on my thing. It's like, yo, because when I build relationships, I don't, my goal is not, my intention is always, of course, marriage and shit, but that's not my goal. You know, my goal is to what I can get from these different phases with you. You know, the dating phase, the talking phase, the vibing phase, the living with phase, the different, you know, we don't even make it out the friendship phase. It's hard to make it out the friendship phase on a rebound. You feel what I'm saying? It's hard to make the friendship because, you feel me, when you're the reboundee, that person that you're coming, they're feeling a void. You feel what I'm saying? They're feeling a void. You don't really have to do much. You feel me? Like I said, the void that they're feeling is usually, like they say, they got the 80-20 rule. You feel me? The void that they're trying to feel is 20%, bro. Do you know how effortless you have to do to 20% is like, you know how you take those state exams and shit, and they be like, yo, you get 10 points just for, like, when you take the SAT, it's like, yo, you get points just for putting your name on your paper. That's what it's like feeling the 20% void. You feel what I'm saying? There's no reward for me. But it's like, if I can get everything that previous relationship gave you just off the 20%, like, the fuck. That's why, you know, high key, I believe that's why we be saying women, you know, some women are difficult. The women that are coming onto us and they're not rebounds, they're not rebounding with us, is different. Like, if she's been single, she's had the time to heal and detox from this dude and get all of the bad shit out of her system, and she's not just trying to mask, and, you know, it's different. You're like, yo, she too much, man. She the man, like, nah, like, when you the rebound, yo, the shit's easy. It's effortless. It's effortless. And I don't know if it's just the way we set up our culture to where we damage women so much that it's just, we make it easier for the next man to just come in and be nothing. You feel what I'm saying? That it makes it a lot easier to be in these types of situations, these types of relationships, these types of connections, because, you know, as a reboundee, our goal is to, you know, find relationships that are find women in relationships that are on the rocks that we can tap into something with. And you know what? I don't even think we know that we're really doing it, but I think we've just been so programmed through the music and shit and the TVs and the imageries and shit that's what we fall for. Like, you feel what I'm saying? How many love stories do we really have where, like, a lot of times they started off from scratch and they built, like, nah, like, listen to, like I said, listen to your R&B music, listen to your rap music, specifically your R&B music. Quote unquote, R&B music teaches us how to, you know, get the woman and be the Casanova type motherfucker, right? You know, because we constantly listen to it, we listen to what they say, but there's, like, show me an R&B song. Just one, in modern day times. You feel me? Because I know a plethora of them in the old school era from the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, some in the 80s, 90s, that's when that shit stopped. But show me a R&B song that was about getting the girl that was single. You dig what I'm saying? Not getting the girl that was already with a man that, oh, I can treat you better than your man can, I can do this. Like, that's filling that 20% void. Not the one where you're dismissing and undermining her man. Like, the real songs where it's like, damn, I had an eye for her from the beginning, and, you know, this is, you know, she had the eye for me. We actually built a friendship and we talked and things of that nature. Now, those songs are there. Like, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm telling you to name one because it's going to take you some time to actually think about it. But I can rattle off, like, off the head. I don't even have to think about it. I can just start, you know, really rattling songs off that the dude was just like, yo, your man ain't me. Hell, there's a song called Your Man Ain't Me. Chris Brown got a song called Your Man Ain't Me. Trey Songz got Can't Help But Wait. You feel me? It's the list goes on. There's so many different songs where it's just like, your focus is never a woman that's single. Your focus is a woman that's healing, a woman that's hurt, broken, and damaged. Like, we don't even pay attention to that shit. We pride ourselves on being reboundies. I could treat you better than your man. See, he just don't appreciate you. He just don't value you. You feel what I'm saying? You need a real man like me. You feel me? Like, that's rebounding shit. Like, that's how you secure the rebound, man. That's how you secure the rebound. You attack the boards, or you box that motherfucker out and you rebound the fuck out of that shit. But anyway, so those situations, mold us into being the reboundee. And then we start to build our relationships like that. So now we know we can do all of this serenading shit. And then we'll go back to the rapper side. And that I ain't gonna say it brings us the logic behind it, but it takes the rose-colored glasses off of it to the good side of being a reboundee. Because then after that side, you hear the rapper talking about, yo, I'll fuck your bitch and give her back. I take it. What Wayne said? I take your bitch, give her back, and take your bitch again. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So we know that it's like, nah, this can't work. This can't work. Like, you feel me? Because we know, all right, man, I can't trust you. I can't fuck with you. I don't fuck with these hoes because, you feel me? She's just fucking with me to pass the time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she's just fucking with me to pass the time. But rarely do we ever have those songs or those, and like I always say, art imitates reality, but it also initiates reality too. So if our development are coming up, we're hearing these songs about, yo, let me be the best for you. Let me be this or that. And, in light of knowing that you have to come off of the standard of the previous person that she was with. And if that window is short between how long she's been single and took the time to herself, it's easier to exploit. So you feel me? When our relationships are built off of that, it's like, it's easy. It's very easy. And I think we got to start taking more accountability for that shit. Like, we need to sit and explore, like, when we're interacting with the women, like, where are you right now? Relationship wise. You may be single, but are you still entwined with this person? Are you entangled, motherfucker? Like, are you still there with him? Because now that we're seeing it from that bigger scale, it's like, look back at the relationships that you had that, you were the rebound on. You were the reboundee. What position were you in? What position were they in? How long were they single? How long did they take away from that person? Did they still have that person's phone number? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Those are little things that I paid attention to. You feel what I'm saying? If they got kids together, I can't trip on that. Like, I can't be on your baby daddy, he's supposed to. I'm not like, if your baby daddy ain't calling you, and I'm just using, baby daddy for the culture and shit, like, you feel me? But we know what we talking about, One of my homegirls, she put me on to something because she did not like the term baby mama. So she said, parenting partner. That's some sophisticated shit. You got a parenting partner, right? But if your parenting partner is in your phone number still and they're still contacting you and shit, like, I can't be mad at that. Now, if the conversations are not about your children, and it's about y'all and how y'all didn't work and how y'all, like, I can see that animosity and I can see little shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the only people of your past that, that I feel if y'all had a relationship or whatever and it didn't end properly, you feel me? Those are one of the only people that I feel like could get it past out of that. Because I still got exes' numbers in my phone. I still got women's numbers who I used to fuck with. But it's after the number was deleted and years had passed and we just kind of linked up in, different places. But it's not on no, we're going to get back or we're going to try again type shit. Because we're different people from that time frame. Well, I know I'm a different person from that time frame. So I can't even engage with them. I don't know type time where I always got to remember how you did this and did that. Nah, that's not why I can't re-engage with the person. The reason why I can't re-engage with the person is because I'm not the person I was when I was attracted to them. I'm not attracted to them anymore. Like, what made me attracted was different then. I was a different person then than I am now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, what I'm saying is, like, in that time frame, numbers got deleted. We stopped talking to each other. Social media got deleted and all of that shit blocked. And, the process as you heal and get over the shit. But then it came to a point, unlock the person, and then, eventually just have a random conversation and be like, yo, let's, hit me up sometime. Cool. And for me, I don't know what it is for them, but I know for me, a lot of times it's really, Joe, just hit me up sometime. Like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to talk to you again. Like, tell the new guys in your space, they ain't got to worry about shit. I don't want you. You feel what I'm saying? But that friendship was still cool. So I don't mind friendship again. But if you got the number in your phone, y'all never had a separation Y'all never had it like y'all really just stopped and just try to continue life and shit. Like, that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly because it's like y'all have communications too much. Y'all have frequent communication on a regular basis. And especially when they have been involved with each other and it just kind of stopped. Like I had a woman who was like, and I didn't know this until like I was already talking to her. So it was like, damn, like I think like it was crazy. Like, I think the situation happened like her and the dude were married or something. Well, I don't think they were married because it's like, I think I met her, I think like November or December or something like that. Like divorce or the separation, whatever it was the divorce. Like the actual divorce papers were finalized in March. That March. I'm like, whoa, wait, what the fuck? Like how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what happened? Like when was I gonna, like, you should have led with this shit. You feel what I'm saying? You should have led with this shit. But then as I went on and as I talked more and more to her, it was more so, yeah, I'm rebounding. I'm the reboundee. I said, I'm not gonna fuck you. I'm not gonna fuck you. I'm not gonna fuck with you. I said, we'll be cool. I have patience while you get your shit together. You feel me? But I can't cross that line with you. I can't cross that line with you because this is rebound shit. Now, had this been an old me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would have plugged like 3 times. And then I would have been able to use that as a scapegoat. I was like, hold up. You feel me? You was married anyway, motherfucker. And you was this. I would have used that shit to get out. It was like, you talk about trusting me. I can't trust you. My man. My old playaways were hilarious, bro. I did some funny shit. But it was chess for me. They was playing checkers and I was whooping their ass for chess because I knew how to get out of that shit. But this is the rebound. This is a part of the rebound. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like started to set myself up with that. You feel me? And then it gets to the where, you know, we have these phrases, oh, you a Captain Savo. You know, why do you think that is a title? You feel me? Why do you think that becomes a title? Because the Captain Savo is usually the reboundee. Yeah, I'm going to come in and take care of you and do all the things your man won't do and all of that shit. Like, but, you know, it gets stupid. It gets stupid after a while because then that's when we start building our relationships. You know, I found myself running into a cycle where I just like, yo, how come everybody is just coming off of a fucked up relationship? I'm like, bro, I've been single. Like at the time when I first started, like I said, back dating, it was 5 years. My shit fucked me up so bad that I was in it for, you know, 5 years. And I'm going to segue into my rebounding after this. But I was so fucked up off the shit. It took me 5 years to bounce back. So it's like, damn, I know that shit. It did me dirty. So then I'm looking at these people who tell me, yeah, the man that they with or the man that they was with, you know, he did them wrong and they did this and they just couldn't get there. And I'm like, yo, how long y'all been single? You know, the longest time frame, the longest gap between the time when a woman was single and the time she split from her man, the man that she's saying has wronged her was like 2 years. That's the longest time. But in that longest time, that was the longest relationship because they were together for 11. I was like, and you think you good after 2 years? I wasn't trying to say, okay, well, I was in a 2-year relationship. It took me 5 to bounce back from that shit. Because it was other things. It wasn't just we walked away from each other. Like, there was some beef in that shit. Like, we ain't fuck with each other. It was some on-site shit. Like, I wouldn't fight her. But I'm like, yo, if I caught your boyfriend or your brother on the streets like that, that's the beef that I had with her. But because I didn't hit women, I don't hit women and shit. I'm like, yeah, you got to know what I would do to you. If you know what I'm saying? If you was a dude, you feel me? So if I catch your brother, your daddy, you feel me? They gonna catch this work and they gonna catch it for you. Like whatever I do to him is gonna be what I could have done to you if you was a man. But anyway, that point was like, there was like, as the rebound, there was not much time between these women. They kept telling me, oh, I'm good. And as I explore more, I'm like, you're not fucking good. You're not good, bro. You just like what I'm bringing you right now. You feel me? You like what I'm bringing you right now. You like this single, fresh energy. You feel me? And you want what I have to be. And what I was bringing was nothing more than 20%. Nothing more than 20%. And I think that's an ego boost. You feel me? I know it was an ego boost for me when I was a kid. That shit boosted my ego like a motherfucker. I didn't even know it. Like, I just had to look in hindsight and observe it now because it was like, I was bagging women off of 20%. 20% effort, yo. Because the dope part about being a reboundee is that when when the previous man that she was with fucks up so bad, they make your 20% look great. You mean to tell me all I gotta do is listen to you? You feel me? All I gotta do is listen to you and laugh and make you feel safe. Damn. I said, I don't gotta bring shit else to the table. He fucked up. His 80% fucked up the game to make my 20% beneficial. Like, that is some crazy shit. You feel me? That is some crazy shit. But don't worry. It's vice versa. Because, you know, I'm talking about the reboundee. I was the rebounder too. You feel what I'm saying? But, and we become the rebounders as well. But as the reboundee, you know, just look into how easy it was. You know, we don't have to put in effort to make our women like us. You feel what I'm saying? We don't have to put in, you know, I ain't gonna say our women, and I ain't gonna say all women, but we don't have to put in effort. You only have to put in 20% effort to make a broken woman fall for you. That's a fucked up shit. But it's reality. You know, of course, the women, they're probably not gonna agree. They're probably not gonna like it. But it's not funny, but it's just, it humors me because it's like, how the fuck are y'all getting bagged off 20%? If, you know, at the end of the relationship, I constantly hear women say things like, well, I knew he wasn't shit. I knew I shouldn't have been fucking with him. You knew he was only able to provide you 20%. You knew that you was falling for this man off of 20% that he was giving you. Because the previous man that you were with fucked up 80%. They gave you 80%. You were fighting for 80%. You got that missing 20%. They made it easy for you to fall for the reboundee. You feel what I'm saying? But as the reboundee, it's like, are you going to be that person with integrity and exploit it? Or are you going to, and not exploit it? Or are you going to be the motherfucker who just don't give a fuck? Because you're oblivious to it. A lot of times, like, we're just so caught up in the cycle, we don't know that we're being fuck boys. Like, let's put that on the table, because now we have to put the accountability piece towards women on this one, because we keep being labeled fuck boys, but all we need to do is use 20% of the shit. Like, tap into the 20% that you're lacking in your relationship, but we get called the fuck boy. Like, let's take it back. Like I said, let's take it back to the metaphor of the SAT and, you know, school tests and shit. You can get points just for putting your name on the paper. You feel me? You can change your final grade by letter in most courses because attendance is 10%. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you can literally just show up and get 10% off rep just because. You feel what I'm saying? So when women are lacking that 20%, that shit magnifies. And then they like, we're the fuck boy because all we did was give you the 20% that you were looking for. You feel me? You came in like you didn't need the 80. You came in like you didn't want the 80. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you came off of. We're the fuck boys because now it compounds, because you were just looking for that 20% feel. You weren't even looking for the 400% anymore. You were just looking for that 20% feel. Like, that's what the women were looking for. And that's what we provided. And that's all that we provided. Damn, I'm providing the 20%. Oh, he's providing the 20% that I lacked. I ain't never get this in relationships. I ain't never get that. But are you still getting what you once got in those relationships? Are you paying attention to that? You feel me? That's why we become fuck boys. That's why we become the boys who ain't shit and all of that shit, because we be reboundees who are filling the 20% void. And some of us be like, I didn't even, and also real shit, some of us really aren't fuck boys. We really ain't. We just gave the 20%, and, you know, we're called a fuck boy now because we're like, yo, I don't want this. In me giving you the 20%, yes, you let me fuck. In you giving me the 20%, yes, you were buying me things and treating me like your man. Like the man who gives you 100%. But that's not my fault. You feel me? That's not my fault. And as a reboundee, I don't have to bring that shit to your attention because I'm under the premise that you're healed, because that's what you're telling me. You're telling me you've been single. You're telling me that y'all broke up. You're telling me all of this, but you're trying to fill the 20% void still and don't get it. They don't be getting it. They don't realize that a lot of the women who have been broken. This is perfect because now it segues off the previous podcast episode on broken women. You feel me? And then our role with that. This is what I'm telling you. Like, yo, you're going to have to heal your woman. Otherwise, she's going to be satisfied with 20%. I know that sounds good. That sounds like, yo, she's satisfied with me only having the 20%. Yes, she's satisfied with you giving her only the things that she once lacked in relationships. But she still needs that full dynamic. But as the reboundee, We can exploit that. That's why it's easy. Like, I don't have to put in the work. I don't have to do the 80% of the shit that you actually require, that actually made you stay in that relationship with that person for that long. I just need to give you the 20%, and then you make up the 80% for me. Because I'm giving you the 20% in your mind, you say I'm giving you the other 80. You know? And that's what it is on the rebounding side. That's what we're doing on the rebounding side. We're like, man, shit, I can't fuck with these women like that, because we have to realize that the rebound also comes with broken, damaged emotions. That's what the rebound comes with. Broken and damaged emotions. You feel me? It's not no good shit. You feel me? So then when we flip it, and then when we flip it, the reboundee is like, oh, that's the Casanova, that's the smooth dude, right? But then when you're the rebounder, oh, buddy, when we're the rebounders, it's nasty. It's nasty. It's just as nasty as the rebound, because now the reboundees are coming from us. And yo, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Women reboundees who have been single had like, yo, bruh, they the shit. They the shit. But when they give their 20%, bro, it's like, yo, it's the same shit. It really make you think, yo, she's giving me everything I lack. And that's the problem. When we get caught up in these rebounder relationships, we're like, yo, she gave me everything that I was lacking in a relationship. Again, she only gave you the 20%. Like, that 20% was so significant. Like I said, it's just like the attendance. Like, it could change a whole letter grade. That 20% was so significant that that's what we bank on when we meet somebody new. You feel me? Fuck the other 80%. I'm not even trying to get with her because of the 80% of my previous relationship. I'm trying to get with her because she's feeling 20% void. We are literally trying to build relationships, marriage, have kids with 20 fucking percent, and wonder why it don't work. Hell, we keep our phones. What you think is going to, like, this is just a basic metaphor. Like, look at your phone. What you think is going to last longer, 20% of juice or 80% of juice? What would you get more out of, 20% of your phone or 80% of your phone? But yet we have built it on, we build relationships like that because we be the rebounder. It's like, yeah, man, I got to get over this chick. That's why one of the most dangerous lines I've ever heard when it comes to healing is, healing from relationships is the best way to get over somebody else, to get over somebody, to get under somebody else. No. Because you're only getting under 20%. You're only getting under 20%. And when you get under that, that's when dumb shit happens. You start losing your shit. Because now the 80% starts to become magnified when you see other things. It's like, yo, you ain't never been doing this. You ain't never been doing that. Like, infatuation phase is off. Typically, the infatuation phase on a rebound is the 20%. That's why it seems so good. Oh, this person gets me. This person understands me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and then when you are the rebounder, you got to really pay attention to that shit, bro, because you're going to do stupid shit. That's when your insecurity is going to come in, jealousy, all of these negative emotions are going to come in, because now you're like, oh, I finally got my 20%. Now I got to protect the 80. Nobody can have the 80. It's my precious, like the little motherfucker for Lord of the Rings and shit. But nah, it's like when I looked at my rebounder phase, I only had one rebound phase, because every other relationship that I was in, it never hurt me as we broke up. It was not no damage and shit. It was like, yeah, my feelings are hurt because we ain't together no more, but we can still speak when we see each other, and it's no ill will, no malice or anything. I don't have to heal from this shit. The one that I had to heal from, boy, that rebound was nasty. That rebound was nasty because I was like, yo, I was a college student. I was in a relationship from second semester my freshman year up until my senior year. So I ain't get the luxury of, doing the other shit that I wanted to do. Now, granted, I was an early bloomer. So the whole multiple women, different places, I had already done that shit earlier. I had already been fucking with older women. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing. It wasn't new for me. It wasn't new for me. So I didn't really get caught up. I didn't really get wrapped up in it. I was more so like, yo, I want to try a new challenge in being in a monogamous relationship, like with somebody. I actually put in the work to be with somebody. So I had already did that. But at the same time, I was like, yo, I missed it for college. Because look, the second semester of my freshman year up until my senior year, that's technically 3 years. That's a 3-year span, because I think we got together in 2008. No, we got together end of 2008. And then by 2011, that's when it was done. I started my senior year, 2011. So yeah, I ain't like, and you look, bro, from freshman year up until that senior year, there was so many women throwing it at me. Like, so I was like, nah, I got a girl, man. When I say it was, these women, if I would have cheated, I'm not a cheater. I don't condone it, right? Because it's wrong. Just get out of the relationship. But if I would have cheated with these women, nobody would have said shit. Now, granted, I would have got the flack for, yeah, bro, that was fucked up because you love that girl, this, that, and the third. But I would have got the pass because it was never a fuck down. It would have been a fuck up. Eddie Griffin said it in a comedy special. He said, bro, when you cheat, don't fuck down, fuck up. I would have fucked up. Literally. It would have been a fuck up, but it definitely would have been a fuck up. Like, these women are in totally different stratospheres. Totally different. They were in totally different stratospheres. You feel me? So if I would have plugged them and cheated with them, it would have been different. It would have been like, I can't even be mad at you. It's like, I can't, like, I'm mad. I could be mad. Like, she could be mad at me, the woman. But my homies and shit, they're like, I can't even say shit because she is better. Like, and I don't mean better just physically because she was cute. I mean, as far as having her head, the mental space, the emotional space, the structure of life and shit. It was so much better. And I was like, wow, this is wow. You feel me? But I didn't cross that line. And when I say they was throwing it, throwing it. Bow, bow, bow. So much so that it's just like, I had to deal with the insecurities of that person because in that relationship, I was the rebound and didn't know it. She was coming off of a very fucked up relationship. Like, literally the year that I got there to college and shit, that prior year, she was just in a fucked up relationship that tore her to pieces. I didn't know it. You feel me? So I'm getting with her and shit. And then I just, 20%. That's all I gave her. I gave her 20%, then I got in a relationship and gave her the full 80. I gave her 100% of me. But it got fucked up. I didn't know shit about rebounds. I didn't know I was in a rebound until, you feel me? We going to Walmart one day and the dude, I didn't know how fresh it was because the dude that she was with, I guess they were supposed to have a baby together, some shit. Well, I don't guess. They were supposed to have a baby together. That's, whatever the case may be. So they were supposed to have a baby together. And they didn't go through with it or whatnot. Or they didn't have the baby. So we go into Walmart and we see him and I guess his new girlfriend or whatever the case may be at the time. Now, mind you, I'm oblivious to all of this shit. You feel me? But they're together. I didn't know that they had only been separated for probably 6 months, if that. They were, you know what I mean? And we at Walmart, and by this time he had already had another girl pregnant. Or he had the baby with the other girl or some shit. I don't remember. No, he did have her because the baby was in, and he looked at her like, damn. When he looked at seeing her, it was just like, yo. So I looked at her, she broke down and started crying. I'm like, the fuck are you crying for? And then it comes out, and I was like, oh shit, I'm a fucking rebound. Ain't that a bitch? Hey, huddle up, broskies, because it's time to elevate. The secret to evolving masculinity is to define it, understand it, then apply it. The So Frail series defines masculinity as the spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. From this definition, I explain how masculinity is not just the hat that we wear, but it's the essence that we must exude through application. If you enjoy the So Frail conversations, why not read the books that inspire them? Visit IamJustSeen.com right now to add the So Frail series to your library to get a better understanding of what masculinity really is. I promise, after reading So Frail, you will never look at masculinity the same again. I'm a fucking rebound. So, that situation fucked me up so bad in that because after we split, ultimately the way he did her, it was crazy shit. The way that dude did her and left her was how she did me. Awesome, wild shit. But with a little bit extra flair to it. She put the hot sauce on that motherfucker. But after that rebound sent me into a different space. Because I had already been saying it. Like, my homies was like, yo, bro, we knew you weren't going to be in a relationship much longer just by the shit that you were saying. I was like, what you mean? They was like, yo, every girl, we would be in a cab and shit. And it'd be like I said, it was so many women that was on my hit list because of the time. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I kept saying this shit. Like, if I ever get single, bro, I'm fucking her. And it was looking like, what? I said, I'm still in my relationship. I'm still strong. But I said, but if I ever get single, I'm fucking her. Like, I had made a list. I think I got about 60% of that list completed. at some point or another. And I did it within that year. This is the point that I'm segueing into the rebounder. I did it within that year because like my senior year, I said, I got to catch up. I said, I missed 3 years of this shit. 3 years of this shit. That semester, not even that semester, that year was nasty. Not even that year, that rebound phase was some ugly shit. Them women didn't deserve that shit. And this is why I'm having this conversation, because as rebounders, the women that we're damaging like this, they don't deserve what we're putting them through. They didn't wrong us. They didn't do any of that shit. I had that fuck these hoes and all of this shit. Yo, I'm broken. But I had a conscience. I was literally telling women, look, we're not going to be together. A relationship isn't going to form and it's not going to work. Well, I just want to see where it goes. It's not going to go nowhere. Now, if you want to continue to fuck around, we can. And if we fuck, it is what it is. But understand no relationship is coming out of this. I had a conscience, but I ain't have a heart either. So I wasn't giving a fuck about these women at the time. But I was telling them, I'm not going to give a fuck about you. You know, I'm not going to give a fuck about you. That takes a different level of confidence, a different level of honesty to be able to say that. You know, and as a rebounder, sometimes we don't say that shit. Most times we don't say that shit. But I didn't give a fuck at that point. That's why I said the shit. You know, they were like, oh man, I know that I'm telling you, I just got out of a relationship. It's not gonna work. I'm not Wolverine. I'm not Wolverine. This shit is not gonna heal in 3 days. Like, no, I was broken. So understand that anything we do is gonna be off of me not, you know what I mean? So I have ran through. And I'm like, as the rebounder, it was different because these women were trying to get a relationship. And I was knowing, okay, look, you're not even, and the good thing about that, the reason why it was so easy to be honest with them in that relationship, because it wasn't even a transfer from 80-20, because I didn't get anything really out of that relationship. Like, I didn't even get the 80%. You feel what I'm saying? So the 20% that showed up, I was like, oh, wow, like, this is dope. And, you know, it's like, that's when it got to that level of, you know, just running through, like, from 20, that's why I ended up going celibate in 2015, because from 2012, no, from 2011, that's when it started, because that was my senior year. From 2011 up until 2015, that shit was weird. Like, some women I don't remember. Now, this is where it gets crazy too, because I wasn't drunk with a lot of these women. So it wasn't like, oh, I just blacked out and I can't. No, I was conscious in the moment. I just don't remember who they are. It was that many. And it was so frequent. And it was so just random. I didn't have time. I didn't desire to meet them. And it's crazy. Like, art imitates reality. Like, I wrote this song called Find Them, Fucking Forget Them. Shit was cold too. This shit was cold. This was back in my heyday. I put it on one of my mixtapes way back in the day. But the song was called Find Them, Fucking Forget Them. And literally from that time frame, that's what I was on. And didn't really know why I was really on that shit. And some of them I really don't remember. And that's the devastating part of the rebound. You know what I'm saying? That's the devastating part of the rebound. I couldn't tell you who they are. Don't know their names. If I seen them, like, I remember one time, because at the time I was still living in the city in which I graduated. So a lot of the women were people that were around that. So if I go back to homecoming or some shit, and they be like, hey, what's up? Hey, you, what's good? You don't remember me, do you? I do, but I remember your face. I didn't even remember the face. I just tried to play it. And then when they say, oh, that's right, what's up? How you been? I don't know who you are, lady. I don't. I'm sorry. I have no idea who you are. You know, that's the downside and the dark side of that rebounder shit. Like, when you are the rebounder, because as the rebounders, we're not taking the time to heal. We're not taking the time to actually sit with our emotions and deal with that shit, bro. And be like, you know, let me process this shit, get over it, and move forward. Because what this is now doing is making us transfer our love, or what we thought was love for that person, onto another person without starting from scratch with that person. You feel what I'm saying? So if that person gives us 20%, we just transfer. Oh, here's all the love that I have for a motherfucker that was only giving me 80. And it was a bullshit 80. I'm now going to transfer that because now you're giving me the 20% as opposed to, yo, you got to build a whole 100% with me. You feel what I'm saying? That's why a lot of kids come out of these situations, a lot of these, and they come so fast. It's like, yo, we all together for like a year. Y'all already trying to get married. Y'all already got pregnant, this, that, and third, because that's just the case of the rebounder. You feel me? We get inspired and infatuated with that 20%, and then we transfer the 80 over. We transfer the previous love that we have as opposed to trying to build onto a new love. You feel what I'm saying? So it becomes nasty and it becomes dark and problematic because as men, when we're on that rebounder phase, it's like we're already taught not to deal with our emotions, so we don't sit with the conversation. You feel me? Fortunate enough that's why I don't know, it's just the way the universe plays itself. I have a lot of women friends, like platonic women friends. They're my best friends. They helped me through my breakup. My homies, shit, I would have never healed, bro. I would have never healed. Because every time I tried to talk about it, it was like, yo, man, fuck that bitch, man, all these hoes. This was the conversation we had every time. You know what I'm saying? When it was like, yo, how's it, man? It's like, yo, man, fuck that bitch, man. All these hoes out here that been eyeing you, bro. And you know Shorty from, and that's where it was fucking up because talking to my homies, yo, you remember Shorty from, at this party when I was like, nigga, that was like 3 years ago. Yeah, I know, bro. She found out you single. She went, a word. Put me on, bro. It started getting like that. That's how your homies help you heal. They don't. They give you Band-Aids and shit. Even if they don't give you Band-Aids, they're like, bitch, you better let that shit scab up, man. Fuck, nigga. Like, you feel me? But we don't have that space. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I've been able to provide that space for my homies and shit. Like, I've learned the need for that. My homies are talking about they breakup. I don't dismiss it. I be like, bro, you know, we got to process this shit, bro. Because if not, you're going to be out there really under the, man, fuck these hoes. Fuck that bitch. All these hoes out here. And that's what you get wrapped up into. And then you become the rebounder just, oh, damn, she provided me 20%. Okay, cool. Let me fuck with that. Let me fuck with her on this type time. Bam, 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 I got it. Because you just transfer the energy over. You transfer the things over that you once had in that relationship and you try to carry it on as a rebounder. It don't work. The 20% intrigues you. Then now you bring in that, you know, oh, because they gave me the 20% that I was never getting in my previous relationship, I'm gonna fuck with her. You know, and then I'm a fall for her. I'm gonna fall quick. Like nobody falls quick. You just transfer the energy over from the previous relationship. Some people never heal from those, you know. So because I wasn't healing, you feel me, the way I was supposed to, you know, I was medicating, you know, but then my homies, when they started seeing me spiraling and shit, you feel me? One of my homegirls, it was like, this woman that I remember her, cause yo, I remember her, she was, I had a moment. But anyway, like I was knocking her off frequently and we was in a calf one day and she just came in. I said some of the most disrespectful shit ever to her. And it's cause I was just fucking her, but she said something, I was like, man, anybody checking for you? Some shit. And my homies looked like, Ray, you said that to her face. I said, yeah. I say, what? They was like, bro, like, I get, and she told me, she said, I get you hurt. And I get that you having fun. But she said, Ray, that was wrong. That wasn't even, you know, that was disrespectful what you just did to that woman. And I was like, she cool. Like, she just said, she gonna see me tonight. But she said, but Ray, I don't, like, she may not admit that because of what she wants to continue. But that was some fucked up shit you just said to that woman. You know? And then that's when it started. She was like, yo, she was like, where you at? And then we started talking about the situation. And then it took my women friends to start to talk to me. You feel me? One of my homegirls told me, she said, bro, I wanted to cry for you so bad, but I knew if I cried, you would have. I was like, I wasn't going to cry. She said, Ray, you needed to cry. She said, I don't give a fuck how tough you think you are, how manly you think it is. That's why I'm now in a bigger position now where I'm like, yo, bro, if you got to let it out, go cry. If you got to go cry in the closet, whatever. I'm not on no crying for nothing type shit. Like, drop of a hat, you start crying. But yo, when your eyes start well up, let that shit out, bro. Let that shit out. Get the snot, all of that shit. Let it out. Don't try to be on no Denzel Washington glory shit where you just let the one tear fall. No, let that shit all the way out, bro. And I learned that from those situations because she was like, you know, you didn't cry. She said, she said, I knew you was a strong person, but this is different. She said, I seen what she did to you because they watched the development of the full relationship. It wasn't like, you know, we were friends for, at the time, for as long as her and I had been in a relationship. So they seen the progress. They seen everything that I put in. Like, they seen it was like, Ray, you love that woman and you need to heal this shit. Like, they sat with me. Like, cry, let it out and shit. All I kept doing was drinking. You feel me? I would knock out a bottle of Patron Orange, like, to the head in 2 days. It was bad. You feel me? But now it wasn't every 2 days. Don't get me wrong. It's like whenever I bought one, I'm knocking that bitch out till I'm finished with it. But the purpose and what I was going with that was that from that pain and not healing, that turned me into the rebound, not dealing with all of the shit, but just trying to, fuck that bitch. You feel me? All these hoes out here running around, fuck them bitches. Like, just keep going and keep doing your thing. And that's what happens to a lot of us and why we end up becoming rebounders. You dig what I'm saying? We becoming the rebounders and we do the rebounding shit the rebounder shit. And then we get with the women on 20%. We hurt. We damaged. We bruised and we broken. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we're broken. We're hurt. We're going through these different emotions and we're not dealing with it. We're just trying to transfer off. And that makes our rebounders, like, that's the rebounder. That's the rebounder that makes the fuck boy a monster. The reboundee is a fuck boy too, because, you feel me? Don't get me wrong. They exploiting the shit. Like, yo, you only got to do 20%. Shit. But the rebounder is like, now I'm putting all of this extra shit into you because you're now the dartboard for my pain. And we're allowing women to go through this shit. This is why I always say, not always, but this is why I said in the previous podcast on broken women, these kind of go together. This is why I say we're going to have to heal our women to be with them, be the catalyst to heal our women, because they have to heal us too the same way. You feel me? The relationships that we involve ourselves in, if we don't acknowledge what we're in that relationship for, we'll miss it. You feel what I'm saying? I be knowing that now. I'm aware, like, women come to me, most of the women that come to me now in these times, they be like, I know they're talking to somebody. I can almost guarantee if, like, they're talking to somebody when they come on to me. I don't know why. You know what I mean? So we talk and shit, then it comes out. Because I don't cross that line. I don't start off from that, oh, we talking, we just, let's be friends. Because I want the truth to come out. Then the truth, oh yeah, what should I do if this case, like, it always happens. You feel me? And that's because, like I said, they're on the rebounder phase. And I because I know what it's like to be the rebounder and how much you fuck shit up, I can't let that shit happen to me. But that had to teach me how to reconcile that shit within myself, because as men, our healing is the reason why we keep falling into rebounds. We won't heal. We won't take the time to process the information because we're not even able to deal with our emotions. So it's like, you're literally insane. You're going crazy when you get your heart broken, right? More so for men than it is for women. The reason why is because women, you guys women are taught, like, yo, we can be emotional, we can be free, we can be these things, we can be that. Women can do that, but men, no. You're not supposed to. Boys ain't supposed to cry. Boys ain't supposed to this. So now you're literally going crazy because you're trying to psych yourself up to believe that you are not feeling what you're feeling. That sinking feeling in your chest when it skips a beat, whenever you think about that person, the way it just feels like it drops, the weight on your shoulders, all that shit is fucking real. You're not in denial. You can't get any stronger to erase that shit. It's gonna stay there. But we don't learn how to heal it. We learn how to try to deny it for so long that it numbs us. And that's why we become heartless as the rebounders. That's why we become heartless within this shit. Like I said, that run from 2011 to 2015. If any of y'all are listening and y'all happen to get caught in the crossfire of that shit, I apologize to y'all. I do. If you happen to be one of those who didn't, who I can't recall, I apologize. Like, that was my fault. You feel me? That was my fault. That was me I was a rebounder. I was a broken rebounder at that. You feel me? So the common theme is like, This is why it's like when you're the rebounder, this is why you end up with those, I can't trust these hoes, because you're still gravitating towards the energy of that person that you were with prior. But now this person is providing you with the 20%, but you can't trust them. You can't trust them. And it's like, you can't be trusted either. You feel what I'm saying? You really can't be trusted either, because it's like, you're not in it for them. You feel me? You're not in it for even the connection with them. It's in it for yourself to get what you lost, to try to make back what you lost in a previous relationship. You know, that's what the rebounder is. We don't take time to acknowledge what I didn't get, what I did get, what I'm going to need going forward and everything. It's like, nah, this is what I didn't get. So this is what I'm now going to start looking for. That's why it gets so easy that I fail fast. I know women who don't take much time. I know, like when I talk about the, exploitive side of it, a lot of women didn't take time in between relationships, trying to deny, oh, nah, I'm good. It wasn't like, nah. And that just keeps multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, not dealing with it. Same shit with us. You feel me? There was no time. I put no time in between trying to heal from this heartbreak or heal with this relationship. I didn't. It wasn't until 2014 when, I think, it had to be 2000. I was 23 when I actually stopped fucking so much. And it was more so, now let me just talk to somebody. But it was then in 2013. So I was like 23. 24 was when I really realized I was, bruh, be celibate for this, for real, this time. That was the first one. I broke in 2015. That wasn't my fault. These women had made a bet of who was going to fuck me first. There was 3 women. They made a bet who was going to fuck me first. I fucked 2 out of the 3. I think I won in that situation. I think we all won, but I was the real winner. But anyway, and it was crazy. It was call center days, man. Y'all know how call centers work if you worked in one. But the thing with that is, like, when I actually became celibate for the first time on my own, it was like the end of 2013, into 2014. I was like, yo, this is wrong. You feel me? This was the reason why, because when I was the rebounder, when I started to realize it was getting dangerous, I tell this story now, it's in context now. I was, hitting this one woman. It was these 2 women. It wasn't just a one-time thing. I was fucking them. Like, we were sex partners. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, but one of them, she moved. She moved. I didn't know she moved at the time. And, it had been like a couple weeks or some shit. It had been a while since we talked. But, you know what I'm saying? She hit me up, yo, what you doing? Come over. I was like, all right. So I'm about to, she was like, I moved. I'm not over there no more. I want you to come to my new spot. I was like, oh shit, where are you trying to have me at the new spot and shit? Trying to christen sheets and shit. So I'm happy and shit, excited. So I'm like, I bet, send me the address. So she sent me the address. I'm not paying attention. Like, this is how oblivious I was to reality in this phase. This is how oblivious a lot of us really are when we're rebounders. You feel what I'm saying? So she hit me up. I put the shit in the GPS. I'm driving. Now, granted, it's because of the city that I was in, and I have been like pretty much everywhere in the city. Everything looks familiar, of course. It's just like, this is familiar. It's all right, whatever. So I'm driving down the street and shit. And it's like, I'm making turns that are like, I'm like, yo, this shit too familiar, bro. Like, what's up? So I'm making these turns and shit. But I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh, bro, this the Ville, man. Like, you went to school here for 4 years and shit. And, you stayed here, like, even after. So I lived in the city for like 6 years. 7. Yeah, because I came in 2018 and then I moved to Philly in 2015. Yeah, so, well, no, 6, because then I did a year in Dominica. But anyway, that's not here to there. So I'm driving and I'm getting down to closer and closer to the person's spot. And I'm like, this shit look real familiar. I pull up and I park in front of her house or her apartment. And I'm like, yo. So the shorty that I just told a story about how her ex-boyfriend was there, right? Her ex-boyfriend was in the house after, and then I had to dip out. That was the same woman who she literally lived 4 apartments down. Like 4 down. Like, and these were outside apartments too. It's not like, the big cities where, you have the apartments on the inside. You got to go in through the doors and navigate. So it was that same. It was more like a duplex, multi-family home type shit. So I pull up and I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm like, oh shit. I might get caught up. But I'm like, I don't go with either of them. They know what this is. So it's no caught up thing for me. So I'm not tripping. But this road it was like a one way. So you had to go up. And for me to leave, I'll tell that part next. So I go in, you feel me, do what we do and shit. Same shit. So I leave. And so as I'm leaving, this road is one way. So like you drive in and then you have to drive. It's like not a cul-de-sac, but it's like the road itself just goes around. It's not, so I'm driving forward and then I pass the other shorty house. So as I'm riding, I'm like, I'm going back to the crib and shit. I get a text as soon as I pull up. And she say, what you doing? Shit. I'm like, did she just see my car? I said, yo, I'm chilling right now. What's up? She said, you want to come over? I said, yeah, let me take a shower real quick. I'll be over there. I hopped in the shower, went right back over there to the exact same spot, just 4 spots down. But this time I was like, yo, let me pull in and let me park my car away from this person's house. You feel what I'm saying? So that's when I was like, yo, this rebound shit is now getting too crazy. Because it was the mutual agreement that I was just fucking them. They knew. We knew what was up. That's why, we still cool now. We don't have that ill will, that bad blood between us and shit. But had that have not been the case, if I would have been on some, yo, this my girl, that's my girl too, I'm fucking with both of y'all on that intimate type level, they lived right down the street from each other, bro. They wouldn't have had to find each other. They wouldn't have had to motherfucking, I wouldn't have had to get caught on accident, bro. Like, they're 4 apartments down. Literally. Like, no bullshit. Like, you can open the apartment and just stick your head out and see the other person's apartment. Like, that's how close it was. I was like, this is crazy. You see shit like this in movies. You don't think this shit really happens. What are the fucking odds of that? Her new spot that she moves to is right by. Like, I'm like, all right, bro, I gotta stop this shit. I gotta stop this shit because this shit was now getting deadly for me. You feel me? It was getting deadly for me. And I don't mean deadly in the shit like my life was on the line or some shit like that. I mean, it was just it was getting very, very bad. Like, you feel me? And this is within like 2 months, like the situation with the woman and her ex-boyfriend being there. And then the other woman moving there. It's like, yo, this shit, like, bro, I don't need this type of energy in my life. I need to heal. I said, if this is what the pain is causing me to do, make stupid decisions like this, and you feel me, like, I'm putting people in danger. Now, granted, we all use protection. We all use condoms and shit. I use condoms with both of them. It was, I'm not talking about the safety from that aspect. We was good on that. I'm talking about the safety from, let's say these 2 women had that feeling. You feel me? Shorty stayed with her sister. The other one stayed with her roommate. They're friends. Let's say they went to scrap. Let's say they wanted to catch each other and just pull up and do some crazy, like anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. Like, and as the rebounder, because I was so focused on trying to find that 20% void, continually trying to find that 20% void. That's all it was. You feel me? That's really all it was. That 20% void. And I was bouncing around so much because I didn't even want to transfer what I had for that person because I didn't have anything to transfer. You feel me? There was nothing good at that relationship. And then it ended the way it ended. I was angry. I was hurt. I was devastated. I was everything. You feel me? But I kept trying to hype myself up. Yeah, bro, I'm good, man. Fuck these hoes and all that shit. One of my friends, I think I fucked up her friendship with somebody because she's trying to put me on to shorty and shit. I'm like, nah, look, you know where I'm at with this shit? She was like, oh, she ain't even that type of person, bro. I said, look, bro, I'm in a fucked up phase. I said, I'm fucking anything right now. I said, if I want it, I said, look, I'm telling you, yo. I said, the old me is coming back with the new pain. I said, it's not hard to talk a woman out of her drawers, bro. Like, it's not. I've been doing it since I was 15 years old. You feel what I'm saying? And at this time, I was 21 with a lot of pain in me. I said, nah, it's not going to work. You feel me? Her friend, we meet and everything. And I still feel bad about this. Now, in the moment, I didn't give a fuck. But I still feel bad about this now because it's like, my homie's telling me she's not that type of person. I know she don't fuck on the first night or when she first meets somebody. Me and this woman had only been talking for a week. And she said, I'm going to come she was coming to see her homegirl, which is my friend. And she came and she was like, well, I might as well see you too out here. We could meet and shit. So when I say 3-day plan, I fucking mean that shit, bro. Like, she came that Friday because we was college students. So she came that Friday, stayed the night. She came that Friday. She left Sunday because she had to go back for Monday. I smashed twice in that weekend. That was my first time meeting her. And we had just started talking a week before. This is not no bragging shit, but this is the shit that I know how to do. And I was already in a fucked up state. So this is why it hurt me so bad. And this is why it makes me feel bad thinking about it. Because on the rebounder shit, I told her. I ain't really lied to her. But I didn't tell her the truth either. Like, I told her, I said, look, I'm hurt. I'm broken. I'm not. And I just got out of a very fucked up relationship. And I can't be with you right now. She's like, I understand. We could just see where it goes. I said, no, I'm telling you, it's not going to go anywhere. Like, I don't want you to have that expectation for me. We could talk, we can be friends, and we can continue Skyping and doing all this shit, but we won't be able to be together. I'm telling you, I'm not going to, So she comes over and shit. And this is what really hurts my feelings to think about this situation, because she asked me, she said, you just going to toot and boot me, ain't you? I said, nah, are you just going to toot and boot me? And she was like, nah, that's not my plan, or whatever the case may be. And we fucked right after that. And it was like, that's what I ended up doing to her. Because I was like, you gave it to me too quick. Now, granted, I put the game down. Like, she wanted it. She wanted it. I wanted it. We was there. But then it's like, I crossed that line and made it seem like that was a bad thing. Just so I have a scapegoat. Just so I could walk out. Just so I have a reason to say, you know what? Nah, you gave me the ass before this, that. That was some fucked up shit. That was some rebounder shit. Like, I didn't give a fuck about her feelings. I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I was like, yo, I'm telling you that my feelings are hurt and you're not listening to me. I'm telling you that I need healing and you're not listening to me. But if you want to fuck. Like, because I was like, I gotta make my numbers back. I was supposed to have a certain amount of numbers by the time I was 22. So I didn't have those numbers because I was in a relationship from 18 to 21. So, you feel me? That rebounder shit, it was crazy. The ones that worked the best, for the most part, they was fucking other people. You feel me? Some of these women where, when I was talking to them, it's like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend is, my baby daddy this, and all of that shit. It was easy. As a rebounder tapping into another rebound, like, that shit it got easy. But then, like I said, so 2013, I said, I got to stop this shit. Because that's when that situation occurred with those two women, and they never found out about each other. They couldn't have done shit either way, because like, yo, we single, we just fucking around. Like, but I started to understand the depths of what you can be doing to women when you're playing games like that. So after that, that's when I finally went celibate in 2014. And then I finally met somebody. And like this was when I was in Dominica and shit in the West Indies. So in my time there, it was like, damn, I'm not even, and that was like, I think that was the universe showing me that I needed to heal before I miss out again, because she was who I should have been fucking with. She was who I could have been, really, like, we were together every single day. When I say every day, like, that became my study partner. Like, we would late night, we'd go run. Now, we had some fucking good ass memories and shit. Like, she was the first person that I tried edibles with. Crazy ass story. That's not for here, but I'm just running down the gamut of everything that went together. Like, she would hit me up. It'll be like, we'll finish studying at like 10, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we'll go on a run. Like, literally go on a run around the island and shit. We be climbing mountains and shit, and we just sit on the stars and talk. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that shit happening to me. And I said, man, I'm not healed, bro. I wanted her so much, but I was like, and I knew, I said, damn, I'm really not healed. Like, we spent like, every day we were together. Every single day. This was like, and she was ready for a relationship. I wasn't. And I knew I wasn't. I said, I'm not even gonna play with you like that. I never crossed the line, never did anything. Like, we still cool now. I think, well, we can't talk like that. And she's gotten married and shit. So we don't talk like that. I respect that. We used to vibe on that type time, but like, that's still my homie. And I'm still her homie and shit. But it's like, things are different. But in the time frame, it was just like, man, I wanted her so bad, but I wasn't ready. And that's when I realized, yo, you got to heal between relationships. You dig what I'm saying? You got to heal between relationships. For my brothers, like, that reboundee, rebounder stuff, it's cool when you're young. You feel me? But as you start getting older, take time between these relationships and just stop bouncing it. It's okay. It's okay. Heal, talk to who you need to talk to. Invest in getting platonic women friends. Your homies ain't gonna tell you the shit like this. You feel me? I tell my homies this only because I've been through it. Hov did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. Nah, but you know what I'm saying? When I tell my homies this shit now, like when they come to me with heartbreaks and shit like that, I listen. I'm not just gonna dismiss it like, yo, fuck these bitches, man. All these, like, that's immature shit. Like, and that keeps us away from tapping into our emotions and our ability to heal properly. You feel what I'm saying? Because when I look at that woman, it's like, that was 2014 when I ran into her. Like, when I say it was almost the universe just aligned perfectly to say, yo, this is who you could have been with. This is who you were supposed to be with. This is who would have put, like, you two would have been like whole power couple type shit. It would have been so fucking cliche. Like, you feel me? I was in med school. We met in med school. You feel what I'm saying? It would have, ultimately I didn't go back, but certain situations happen. But in that, like, she was my rider. That's how cool we were. We was tight. We was real friends. Like, when I say every single day we're together, every single day. Like, in class together, study together, go to the beach together. After the test, we chilling together. Like, that was my partner. Like, I really fucked with her. You feel what I'm saying? But I wasn't ready. And why was I not ready? Simply because the previous years after that breakup happened, I never stopped to heal. I was caught in that reboundee, rebounder loop. Like, you feel me? That loop of insanity just kept me from doing the inner work to heal and say, you know what? Let me heal. So then meeting her, I said, damn, let me see if I'm really healed. So I ended up saying, let me link up with my ex-girlfriend at the time just to see if I was over her, see if I felt anything, see if the anger, anything. And we met up, and it was like, I didn't feel any of those things, but at the same time, I knew I wasn't done. Not necessarily with her, but I knew I wasn't in the space to even be considering moving forward. You feel me? So that's when, that year, I was like, yo, let me really focus on healing for real. Because I said, it's like when you have those situations where it's like, yo, this is the person that got away, it hit different. It hit different when you actually have one. Like, people all the time talking about, oh, my one that got away, that was on some flirty shit, this person was just cute. You never, no, this was different. Like, this person was literally everything that I was supposed to be with. I don't deny that in any way, shape, or form. And it's not on no, I'm just saying that because, no, I know the experience I had with this person over the course of a year. I know the experience and the contact that we still maintained even after that time. This person was somebody I was supposed to be with. But I could not do that. But now, this isn't a thing to say, oh, if she ever gets single again and this, that, and the third, and then I'm in there. No. I'm not on that type time. I'm speaking solely from the principles of it because I'm also not that person I was in 2014. So and I don't know if she's still that person, but for the most part, it's like, that was a different transformation. So now I'm understanding the principle of what that lesson taught me. It was never about her individually. It was about, bro, if you don't heal and get your shit together, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss that person. You're going to be continually caught up in these loops. And you're going to continually be doing stupid shit that's going to take you away from the person you're supposed to be with. And then when you meet her, you're going to be like, damn, I'm not ready. And if you try to cross that line, and that's one of the best things that I'm glad I didn't do. I had a conscience with this shit. And that's one thing that kept me. I never crossed the line with her. Because it's like, on that rebound shit, you have those moments where, one or two things are going to happen. Either that person's going to slip through your fingers or you're going to fuck them up. And I probably would have fucked her up. Considering how fucked up I was when I started actually healing. You feel what I'm saying? So that was when I knew I can't do rebounds anymore. I can't do the whole rebound theme. I can't do that shit anymore. I can't be the reboundee, and I damn sure can't be the rebounder. You feel what I'm saying? Like I had to truly, truly take the time to heal, get over this shit and process everything. And I did that shit. That's in 2000. It's crazy because 2014 was the quote unquote year I woke up. You feel me? That's when I started meditating. That's when I changed the way that I eat. That's when everything changed for me. And it was all the derivative of I just started healing. I started healing and dealing with that relationship and said, I'm not doing the rebound shit anymore. I can't do that shit anymore. But then, of course, I got tested for the next couple of years. I failed 2015. I ain't even gonna lie. I relapsed. I relapsed like a motherfucker. Because look, man, like I said, they made a bet, bruh. I went into the call center. The girl was like, yo, I'm gonna fuck them first. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck all y'all. You just don't know it yet. And I would have fucked all three of them if it wasn't for the meddling kids. But now one of them, she was older, a little bit older than me, but she thought that because she was older that she could manipulate and try to run game. I'm like, lady, do you not know how long I've been in this game? You don't understand that you're now seeing me play in my second jersey. I was like Kobe with the shit. I retired 2 of these motherfuckers. You seeing 24. Let's not forget Fro Kobe and number 8, bro. Don't play with me. But anyway, you feel me? I'm joking. I'm playing. So I didn't, get involved with her because her thing was more manipulative. Like she liked boy toys. You feel me? And it sucked so bad because like I was 24, 25 at the time. So she was like 27, 28. But the dude that she played was 20. Now, granted, she had a body like a motherfucker. Like, so I get why dude got caught up into it. She had this dude move out his mama's house because he was 20. He ain't even graduated out of high school yet. He moved out his mama's house, got an apartment, everything in her name. And I was like, oh, I said, why you do that boy like that? She said, like what? He's a grown man. I said, come on, you know that. He's not built for somebody like you. You feel what I'm saying? Her thing was she would try to break me down. Like that's what was so funny about this shit. Like she would try to break me down. You feel me? We exchange numbers and she'll text and shit and then try to, give me distance for a couple of days and we'll go back to work and she'll be like, why you ain't been hitting me up? I said, don't phones work both ways? Wait, hold up. You can't talk. I talk to you any the fucking way I want to talk to you. Ain't you talking to me like that? That's why it's called conversation. That was one of the things, like her thing was she was like, she told me this too. She said, you know what? You just too strong. You just too strong. She said, but I'm going to win. I said, no, you ain't, bro. No, you ain't. Because for one, you think this is a competition and I'm not that person. But 3 of those women made the bet. And that's the one I didn't hit. But the other 2, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So I asked them, I had to come, because when I found out about it, I was like, so who won? They was like, what you talking about? So I told her, I said, look, you didn't win because you already know why you didn't win. But I'm like, so who won? Who was first? And they was like, they gave me the look like, you knew? Yeah, I knew. The fuck? Like, it's a call center, bro. We fluctuated between 2 teams. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was on one team and then I switched teams and shit because we came in together because somebody wanted a schedule that I had. So I switched teams with them. And that's how I had access to both teams. But yeah, got both of them. 2 out of the 3. So that was when I relapsed and I was like, damn it, I fucked up. But when I relapsed, it wasn't as the rebounder, it was as the reboundee because these women were dealing with fucked up situations, with the men that they were with prior. You feel what I'm saying? And from there, it was like, that was 2015. I said, all right, fuck it. I'm going to be celibate for real. Like, for real. No more playing. And that's why they made the bet. They made the bet because they knew I was celibate. And they said, we're going to see if we can fuck them first. Like, who can make them break? And I was like, yo, I had already been celibate for some time. And so I was like, y'all got to understand that if I fuck y'all, it's because I choose to. Not like don't make that bet. Because now y'all all lost. You feel me? Because I don't fuck with none of y'all. But you feel me? That was when, I started to really look at it. I started to really look at it more and I really went into the healing so I can get out of this rebounding cycle. Because it's not a game going back and forth. So I kept being tested from 2016 on, even into more recent times. It's like the women are coming into this space because, now I know that I'm getting a lot better with it because it's like, they're coming off of previous relationships and things of that nature and shit. Like, that's how I know the segue is now coming into like, there's going to be women that have these issues. There's going to be women that have these pains and shit, but there's women that are still harboring things from past relationships and things of that nature. But it's like, it started to teach me that you need to know that you're going to be a rebound going into these situations or know when you're not and then move accordingly to that. So I asked it taught me how to ask the right questions in a relationship, how to actually start being in a relationship with people, with women and shit. Like, it's like, if I know I'm a rebound, I know it's not going to work. Automatically, no. I had a string of women who just kept like, and because it becomes rushed because of the transfer of everything that's there. You dig what I'm saying? So when we can fully understand that and get more in tune with healing ourselves, we'll get out of this rebound cycle. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you, bro. As men, the rebound, it benefits us. It's fun. We get to be men. You feel me? We don't have to love. We don't have to care. We don't have to show emotion. We don't have to do any work. We can be mediocre as fuck. Just put 20% in. Like, literally, no bullshit. But then on the other side of that same shit happens as the rebounder, because it's like you're only going for 20% of the person. You're only going for 20% of the being, because it's the 20% that you couldn't get in your previous relationship. That's why it's love at first sight. That's why you fail so hard. And that's why, I never knew I needed you. No, you needed that. You were missing that 20%. Don't let that shit rot. So that was like, when I got to build a relationship, I've had to learn that I can't do it off of a rebound. I'm not that dude. Like, I tell women now, like, I'm not a rebound. Like, how long have you been single? Like, what's the case with this and shit? Are you finished with this relationship? I ask these questions. And it's no sooner than I start asking those questions, conversations start getting weaker and weaker. And it's not my fault. I don't be ghosting them or anything like that. It's just like, I showed you where I'm at, and that I see what I'm dealing with. So at least let me make the choice as to how we're going to talk. Like, don't try to manipulate. Oh, nah, I'm good. I'm done. I don't deal with him anymore. Do you have his number? Yeah. Do y'all still talk from time to time? Yeah, he just hit me up this and that. How'd you feel when he hit you up? I'm mad now. I can't be with you. You feel what I'm saying? I can't be with you. But at the same time, we've gotten used to that being our way we enter relationships. Make the woman, or like in the rebound phase, in the connection, we build relationships off it. How well we can make her forget about the next man. I don't want you to forget about the next man. I don't give a fuck about the next man, to be honest with you. I just need to know that you're done with the next man, and he can't trigger you. Because if he can trigger your emotions, he can trigger your thoughts. If he can trigger your emotions, he can trigger your thoughts. Once he triggers your thoughts and you are not in control of your thoughts anymore, he can make you do whatever he wants you to do, whether you're willing to admit it or not. Anybody that can arousal your emotions, they got you forever. They have control over you. They have the power over you. You feel what I'm saying? So that showed me that, in order to be able to identify that, I had to heal, and I had to stop rebounding. You feel what I'm saying? Rebounding is fun, man. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I do. I miss it at times. Because it's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm in and out. But it's not until you get wham, bammed and thank you, sir, that you start to pay more attention to it. It's not until you get that one that slips away through your fingers because you're out here playing. Because you have not done the inner work to heal yourself. Because you have not done the proper things to say, you know what? Now is the time for me to really look at this life differently. You feel what I'm saying? Now I'm saying you might want to be single all your life. You might not want to live that life. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But those that are looking for relationships, as the rebounder, you got to ask yourself, next relationship you get in, you got to ask yourself, are you in this relationship as a knee-jerk? Are you trying to get into this relationship as a knee-jerk response to what you didn't get before? And now that's why that 20% looks so good, because it's quote unquote different. Or are you really healed and you willing to build with this person from the ground up to 100%? When you can answer those questions and shit, and then you can step out of that rebound phase, you start to see life differently. You start to see relationships differently. And you might just find that person that you're really looking for. That unicorn is not really a unicorn. You feel me? I'm going to stick with that thing. The unicorn is still a fucking horse. It just has what? The horn. You know what that horn is? 20 motherfucking percent. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSing.com. All right. I'm gonna end it there. That was I just wanted to put that up there. Unicorns do exist, man. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's what we see. I think that was a perfect metaphor too. Like, you feel me? That 20%, like, it's the horn that makes a unicorn totally different. And then in some cases, the fucking rainbow hair, whatever. But that's literally like what it is. It's still a fucking horse. You feel me? It's just that 20% that makes it stand out, that makes us attract to it. And that's what rebounding does to us. That's what the rebounder, reboundee situation gets you. You feel me? Heal. Only way to avoid being caught in these loops is to heal from the situations that you've been in. You feel me? Because like I said, you're going to keep repeating these, and then it's just going to be like, yo, this is just the way the relationships work. So let me find up. No, they don't work like that. Rebound relationships don't work like that. This is why why does the divorce rate so high? Why can't relationships work? Why? Because motherfuckers are creating solid foundations, relationship goals. This is bae, this is that, off of fucking rebounds. Like, really sit and look at that shit. You might have been a rebound, or you might have started a relationship off a rebound, and it got you nowhere. And then it's hard to take that personal responsibility. You know, that I was a rebound. I was in a rebound relationship. Now, whether I was a reboundee or the rebounder, that's up to your discretion as to how you seen your part in that relationship. But think about it. Really look at it. You feel what I'm saying? Then imagine those rebounds and shit going on for, that's why I be like, when people be telling me, yeah, I knew the relationship was over X, Y, and Z amount of time ago, I just stayed in it. For fucking what? Because you didn't want to be wrong? Because you didn't want to, I never really liked this person. The infatuation wore off. I got to 20% now. I realized, damn, that 80% I still need. But they did give me the 20%. No, fuck that. Don't nobody want no fucking 20%. The fuck? Nobody, you can't, your relationship is not going to hold out 20%. But literally, that's what that infatuation hit. Call your mama, call your homies, call your friends and shit, and be like, oh my gosh, I found this person. Yo, she's so dope, and this, that, and the third. Like, that's why I like the excitement of new relationships, but I always have to remind myself, this is a new relationship. Is it just the 20% that I'm seeing because she's different? What about this other 80 that I need? Can she provide that? You feel me? That's why the social media, this instant shit is so quick. You feel what I'm saying? It's so quick. That's why I've learned how impatient people are, especially women, as far as the social media shit. So I've kind of put that down for here, like shooting shots and DMs and shit. Now, I flirt back. Don't get me wrong. I flirt back. But as far as initiating that shit, I'm not doing that. If I know I'm not going to be in your state or in that city, whatever, I don't even waste my time anymore. I just stopped doing it now. Because it's like, after that 20% is done, are you going to show me the 80? Because I'm going to demand that shit. Like, I'm going to push to see what the 80 is. And it's like, no, you're only supposed to see the 20. Like, no. Because then now it gets into the, accept me flaws and all this shit like that. That's the purpose of the 80. You feel me? 20% is your mask. You feel me? And my brother's like, this is what we got to stop getting over. I mean, this is what we got to stop dealing with. You feel me? The rebound. You feel me? Stop succumbing to the rebound phase, because it's easy. You feel me? You don't really have to put in no work. She falls for you quick. You feel like, no. She doesn't fall for you quick. Literally, you fill a void, and she transfers what she had from the previous situation onto you, and you think, oh, she fell for me quick. She really fucking with me. No. It's easy. I'm not saying she's an easy woman. I'm saying it becomes easy when you are able to provide the 20% and the 80. That's why I was like, yo, how are you? Like, I don't feel how you feel about me yet. That's when I started to realize that shit. Women were like, yo, I really like you. I really want to do this. We need to start this. Like, yo, I can give you some pussy right now. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't take it. Wait, what? Like, no, like, I don't know you. What the fuck? That's what I be telling motherfuckers all the time. Like, women be calling me asshole. They be calling me asshole and shit, arrogant and all of this shit. Like, I'm above certain motherfuckers and shit. I'm not. I don't feel that way, but I got standards within myself. You feel me? I don't get, like, you got to make me like you back. Like, you can't, like, that's why I'm like, yo, with this social media shooting the shot shit, like, y'all let that shit go to your head because y'all got this belief that, men are going to come chase you. The fuck? Like, no. Like, that shit makes no sense. You feel me? And my brothers, we get caught up in the shit. A woman shows us some attention, she likes all of, like, don't do that shit to me. Like, that shit be going, like, I've had conversations with women who are like, yo, I used to like all of your stuff, but you never responded to me. Why the fuck didn't you say shit? Well, I figured that if you seen that I liked all your stuff, you would, shoot. I was like, everybody likes my shit. I said, do you know how many back-to-back sequences I see where somebody has liked everything on my post, on my page? I understand, I don't be paying it. Like, when it comes consistently like that, I never really registered that motherfuckers is like, oh, they went to my page to look at each individual thing. And then they liked it to get my attention. That's stupid. I'm not saying that person is stupid, but that's stupid to try to get my attention like that. Just don't do other shit. Like, just do the direct shit. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And then even that is like, yo, I want to see where this goes. All right, well, start the journey. You feel me? But like I said, women have gotten so used to that whole, if men shoot the shot, they got to do the rest of the work. If I'm going to do the rest of the work, I got to shoot the shot. That means I'm going to shoot it for what? Like, if I didn't shoot my shot at you, then it's not saying that I'm not going to fuck with you. You feel me? But that shows that that's not what my intent is. So if you feel like, okay, I'm not going to keep up the conversation you initiated. That makes no sense to me. When you start to get dry and die out, it is what it is. Like, that's and that whole ghosting shit is getting corny too, because it's like, nobody ghosted you. You just weren't memorable. And that's not their fault. You feel what I'm saying? That's not their fault. Because, like, my thing is, like, when it comes to that shit, fuck that. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different podcast episode. So, my brothers, as far as the rebound, first, we got to heal. If you're the reboundee, stop going through that shit. Stop going through the reboundee phase, like, where you're the motherfucker who's always coming into, somebody who's already broken and damaged, right? And then it's just like, oh, I got to give 20%. And then the rebounder, like, heal, bro. Take your time to heal, yo. If that relationship hurt you, if it broke you, take some time to yourself, man. Don't fuck nothing. Just chill, stop drinking. You feel me? Sit into yourself and figure out what it is that you're feeling. Like, what hurt, like, what she did to you. You know what I'm saying? Why she did it, how it hurt, like, what you do to contribute to the shit. Should you have been out of it? Like, deal with that shit. Beat yourself up if you got to for that time frame. I'm not saying beat yourself up continually, but sit with that shit, yo. Sit with your decision in that. Sit with your ability to stay in that situation. Like, you feel me? When I got like on my rebounder shit in a part of my healing, I had to realize, like, I was so upset and so tight that, like, yo, she did me wrong. She didn't have to do this. But I was like, but you stayed. We broke up 3 times in that relationship. 3 times in that relationship. The first 2 times we broke up was because she's like, I need more. I'm giving you everything I got. Like, literally, no bullshit. Like, that year, the first time she said, like, I think it was like we broke up for the first time 6 months in. So this is, no. Yeah, we did break up 6 months in or some shit like that. I don't remember. But whatever the case may be, I remember the conversation in which we broke up. First time we broke up, it's because I was in summer session. I was in a summer session, and I had did some work and shit. Oh, that's what it was. It was after my sophomore year. So it had to be about a year then. So it was after my sophomore year. I was going to tell the story because this is the end. So in that situation, in the dynamic of what we were dealing with, it's like I knew I was supposed to be out of that situation early. You feel me? Because the first time it was like I'm giving her like everything to the point where I was working full time, still going to classes, still doing everything that I was supposed to do, and still finding time for her and doing everything that needed to be done for her. You feel what I'm saying? So much so that year, that semester, I never forget it. I stayed on her 100% to where she finished that semester with a 4.0. Her parents were shouting like, that's the first time you ever got a 4.0 for the semester. Like, I'm proud of you, did it. She was like, yeah, he kept me, like, you know what I'm saying? I sacrificed my grades that semester. I got an A, 3 B's and a C. You feel me? Worst, That was like some of the worst grades I ever had. You feel me? And that shit, I was like, I felt like it was a necessary sacrifice. I'm like, okay, cool. So then that next semester, she couldn't keep it up. She couldn't do it by herself. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up. So then when it got to the point where she was like, well, I just, I don't feel, there's nothing there anymore. It's like, you're not there. You're not showing me any attention anymore. I'm like, I'm helping you become a better person and you're dropping the ball and it's my fault. I said, okay. So I said, all right, cool. She was like, oh, you just gonna walk away like that? I said, yeah, because I can't give you anymore. I said, I can't give you anymore. I said, the well is dry. I said, if what I'm giving you, you still need more, I can't feel that. That was the first time we broke up. Second time, it was another situation. Similar thing. It was like, yo, we reached the wall. We cannot do this anymore. You feel me? Then it ultimately broke up in the bad part. So in the healing that, I had to realize my parts in that shit. That's what you got to realize. Like, take your time, stop rebounding, think, oh, I'm just a good person. Like, or I stayed in this situation. Like, you feel me? Take your accountability. I took my accountability for the shit that I did. You feel me? I took the accountability for all of the shit that I did that, was in that situation, regardless of how it ended. What about the small, minute things? If I wasn't satisfying her and if I wasn't, giving her the things that she needed, that shit wouldn't happen. But I can't internalize that shit on myself because I wasn't able to give her what she needed on the strength that she was a taker and I was a giver and she took it all that I had. But I still found ways to keep it up. Like you was taking from my energy at that point. You feel me? So as my brother's like, take that time, like you get that heartbreak, don't fuck with your homies. Don't fuck with your homies. Get you a platonic homegirl that you can actually talk to. A platonic homegirl, not one that wants to fuck you too. That's not going to work. I'm telling you. That was a part of that rebounder phase because a lot of them wanted to fuck me anyway. And it's like, you don't need to think about her and got him. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's so misogynistic and disrespectful. But that's what we have to come to. You feel me? This rebound shit has got to stop because we can no longer build rebounds off this shit. This is why they happen. And then it's like these rebounds, I don't know if it's just the way I'm looking at it, but a lot of these rebounds are producing children that end up parentless. You feel me? Yeah, they go either stay with mom or they stay with daddy, they co-parent, but they still are parentless because the parents cannot be the adults for the children because they're beefing with each other. You feel me? Stupid. And it's all off of that rebound shit. Like, heal fully. Take the time to make sure you're not in the rebound again. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to have to start from scratch. Yes, change that mentality and start wanting to start from scratch from relationships. I love that shit now. Now I'm still getting to the space where I'm crossing the line and I'm dealing with women who are still, like I said, there's still things that I'm still uncovering that I have to break before I can see it in the right relationship, right perspective. But I understand the rebound shit and I don't want that shit anymore. I understand the rebounder shit and I don't want that shit anymore. So I took the time to heal. So now all of the relationships that I'm now we build slow. We build off of friendship. That shit is so beautiful. Like we become friends and then we decide, you know what? I can fucks with you. You feel me? I can fucks with you because you're my friend. I fucks with you heavy like that. As opposed to skipping the gun and, oh, we're going to date to marry. I ain't dating to marry no more. I'm dating to date. I'm a vibe to vibe. Then I'm going to go through the phases. Like, there's no more, like, and I'm not marrying a motherfucker that ain't my friend. Like, I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm just not. Well, I've never been married, but I'm not going to attempt to do that shit anymore. Oh, let's focus on marriage and shit like that. And everything in the middle gets fucked over. You just don't work on it. You don't work on it. And in that same dynamic, because you're working towards being married to the person, you're working towards the relationship, you're working towards dating to marry, that you don't realize when you're supposed to get out of that shit. You feel me? Because you know your ultimate goal of what you set is marriage. You don't set these little small goals in between. You're like, okay, I want marriage, so I'm going to overlook all of the shit in between. You feel me? Sometimes we be thinking that sometimes we think we're embracing somebody's flaws and we're just ignoring their red flags. Why? Because our ultimate goal is the marriage. And then we're like, no, that wasn't a flaw. That was a red flag. That means get the fuck out. Y'all weren't even supposed to make it past the dating phase. But oh, that's a flaw. Again, that's another podcast topic. I need to wrap this shit up. All right, so that's that. My brothers, take the time and heal in between your relationships, yo. Take the time. It's cool. Like, yo, you don't need to continually have pussy all the time. That's one of our biggest flaws, right? That we think we always got to be in somebody's guts. No. Take some time to chill, bro. Keep that shit to yourself for a minute and get your shit together, bro. So you're not the rebounder and you're not the reboundee so much. You feel what I'm saying? Stop cheating the system of getting to know a woman because it's easy because she's emotionally damaged. And you only got to give 20%. You feel me? I only got to get a 20% she lacked. You feel me? No. Set the goal to be the full, complete person. You feel me? Because that full, complete person is going to elevate that person and make them better for you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that 20% shit is not gonna suffice. It's not gonna work. You feel me? There's levels to it. You feel me? Stop seeking that 20% that you didn't get in that last relationship, yo. Stop. You're not gonna get it. You need to start seeking 100% from a new person. You feel me? That relationship didn't work because it wasn't supposed to. That means any relationship that's like that is not gonna work either for you. So stop trying. You feel what I'm saying? Let's break this stop creating relationships off of rebounds. It's cool, but investigate and have the real questions. Stop just, okay, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Stop that bullshit. Find out why they broke up with the ex. Find out where the ex broke up with them. Find out why that person's not together. Understand who their ex is. Get their side if you need to, but understand who their ex is. Understand where they stand as far as communication. Understand how much, if they have healed from that ex. You don't even need to be fucking with somebody that ain't healed. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. You feel what I'm saying? But then when hurt people and healed people collide, somebody becomes addicted to the medicine. But anyway, yeah, man. I felt like this was a soulful conversation we need to have. Like, because we don't talk about shit like this. We don't talk about relationships like from that perspective. Like, it's always, some cliche bullshit, I feel. As men, we need to heal because these are the outcomes of what happens when we don't. We rebound. You probably got like women be joking and shit, but like, yo, you got hurt in middle school and you blame. Yes, I am going to blame that. Do you know why I'm going to blame that? Because I never healed from it. Because I never healed from it and multiplied. That person that played me, that hurt me in 8th grade, I tried to find that since that point. Now I'm 30. I'm not speaking on me particularly, but I'm speaking for the age demographic. Now I'm 30, 40 years old. That woman that hurt me in the 8th grade, nobody ever gave me the space to say, yo, it's okay to be embarrassed. It's okay to be hurt. Heal from it and then go for another one. It was like, no, go. All right, bam, fuck that bitch. Fuck her. Go on to the next one. 9th grade year, I'm doing the same thing. Now I'm interacting with more women. Now it's becoming a cycle. Now it becomes how I get women. The rebound. All right. So now it's like, yo, why can't you trust? Because this one person set the tone back in the 8th grade and then everything happened. Then I get my major one, mid-20s or some shit like that. And then it's still off of that. It multiplies. Now I'm not going to be the same. These are things that we need to work on. These are things we need to work on as men. Early on. You feel me? Show you, like, when you getting, like, make it okay to be able to talk about the shit that hurt you. Otherwise, you're just going to be doomed to repeat the history. You feel me? And then now the women are mad at us. Oh, it's fuckboy this, fuckboy that, fuckboy this, fuckboy that. It ain't a fuckboy, yo. It's not a fuckboy. It's a motherfucker who's a reboundee. He's stuck in reboundee mode. Or he's stuck as a rebounder. And all he's looking for is 20%. All he has to provide is 20%. You feel what I'm saying? And vice versa. The sisters is on that shit too, but I wanted this one to be for us. You feel me? So now it goes hand in hand. Listen to this one, then listen to the previous one on Broken Women, how it works. Like, do you see why I say, yo, we have to be the ones to heal our women? We got to be the catalyst to heal our women. That's what a friendship is about. That's what building a friendship is correctly, platonically. Because then you help them through that healing process. And then if you two can be together after that, yes, that's when you can do it. But you don't go into the relationship to heal that person and all of that shit. Nah, you let the healing come. And as you two evolve and heal together as friends, then you move into the next level. You feel me? But you don't come into that shit off rebounding. You feel me? You don't come into the shit off rebounding, because then that's like, we continue these cycles. We continue the cycles of get hurt, hurt somebody. Get hurt, hurt somebody. And that is the trade-off between the reboundee and the rebounder. You feel me? And then we pick a side. Do I like being a reboundee more because it gets me more pussy and it's easier? I don't really have to put in any work. Or do I like being the rebounder because, you feel me, I'm really not seeking much out of these women. And then I can walk away from them because they're not going to give me what I'm looking for. You know, break that shit, yo. Break that shit, my brothers. You know, break that shit. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. As always, you know, be sure to follow me on Instagram _just_scene_. You know, check out the website, IamJustScene.com to get all things Just Scene. Yeah, man. Make sure you kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And break the mentality and the cycle of staying in rebounding relationships. We got to stop this shit. That's what's killing us. That's one of the things that's killing us as people, because when we're always in this trade-off, in these types of relationships, they don't last. These relationships aren't built to last. You know, we watch celebrities move from person to person to person. We never see their healing phase. We just know that they was in this relationship. They went on, and we don't know shit about their personal life. We just know when they broke up. We know whatever. The next thing we know, bam, they together, or they with somebody else. Like, we don't pay attention to what they did in the meantime. Did they heal? Did they process shit? Because we don't know the gap, we just keep moving. You dig what I'm saying? But nah, we can't internalize what we see on the outskirts and the external part of ourselves. We have to look at what's on the inside. All right. So reevaluate your shit. If you're in a rebounded relationship right now, and you know it, I'm not saying get out of it. I'm not saying walk away from that shit, but identify with that person and be honest with them. You feel me? If you are the rebounder, identify and be honest with them and let them know, look, this is where we are. I still want to rock. But now I'm going to let you know. This is why we don't communicate more. This is why it's so easy to just walk away from it, because we're like, well, you're not giving me my 80. You're definitely not giving me my 20 anymore. So I'm just going to walk away. That's why ghosting is so easy. All this shit like this. It's like, and the communication isn't there because communication isn't there from the beginning. You dig what I'm saying? So let's just break it, yeah. But like I said, go kiss your babies and make sure they eat their vegetables. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, freedom. Out.